if you go to everybody, what do you really love doing, but you're listening for the gaps. You know how the business runs, you know every single thing that needs to happen in the business. So you're going back to your team and you're saying, what do you guys want to do more of? Don't listen to what they say, listen for the holes.
Yeah.
You're looking for the hole, because then you say, okay, well, here's our gap. And then you're saying, actually, what this business needs is that white space that's sitting in the middle, or the black hole that you can't see, that's right in the camouflaged hole, if you want to call it that, right in the middle of the team. And you say, okay, well, I have to hire into that spot. And then you've got to be absolutely disciplined about listening when you're talking to people, that they are so excited that they would do that for free.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, where do you balance? And it's the classic thing. You can read it in a book until you make good decisions, you learn from them. You make bad decisions, you learn. Like, balancing the hiring for skill and hiring for attitude. Because for me now,
absolutely.
like, attitude has to, like, there's certain technical skills you need to have, but attitude.
Yeah,
is
100%.
by far number one.
100%. So what we're then doing is moving into quite a mechanical process. We're saying, okay, we've discovered, first thing is the discussion. We think we need somebody. We want to delegate and elevate. Can we, broadly speaking, afford it? Yes, we can. Yes, basically, if I find the right person, absolutely, I'll spend the money.
Yeah.
Then you go, okay, we've identified the gap. Then you can go to Google, and despite what everybody thinks, there's only really about 3 or 4 different types of business. Now, I'm lucky enough to know that because I work with thousands of businesses and they all the fucking same, right? In this room, there are 2 types of humans, male and female. They're all a little bit different, but there's males and females.
Yeah.
It's the same with businesses. There's like 3 or 4 different businesses. It doesn't matter if they're e-com, doesn't matter if they're bricks and mortar, doesn't matter what they are. They're all exactly the same. So you can go to Google and you can say marketing coordinator position description. The secret is to hit the images button, because when you hit the images button, you can actually see not everybody's blogs that pop up. You can see when people haven't actually worked out the SEO system, there's all these images. So you're going to see all these 15 different job descriptions. So then you just do a trends analysis. What are the top 10 most common things that a marketing coordinator might do, for example, or a videographer, or a finance person, or an accountant, or an operations manager, or a systems, head of commercial. He's been looking after systems. He's now a head of commercial. And then you can say, okay, here it is. And in fact, that's what I did for his current position title. What are we blended a few things, CRO, head of sales, systems, revenue kind of things. And we just said, what's the head of commercial?
Very handsome.
Well, you got to start with that.
Big biceps as well.
So then you go, then you're basically trying to frame up a draft position description, because here's the secret sauce. You can go out to market, and there's lots of different ways to do that. LinkedIn, Seek, Instagram. You could go, hey, I really like your copy last week. It'd mean a lot to me if you can check out my new product. Like, I was like, I know where that came from. And that's excellent. So you can go. It really meant a lot to me if you know anybody who would really be passionate about doing this kind of work. Get them to reach out to me, because then what happens is you've really thought about the position. You're not actually saying, oh, you'll be okay, I can sort of mould you. You're saying, no, the not negotiable is that this business requires somebody to do this, this, and this. Don't come here unless you're passionate about doing that. Don't come here unless you would do that for free. Because you and I have talked about shit we would do for free. Because you're like, yes, I get it, I want it, I'm happy to do it, and I'll do it for free. So then that person's coming in and they're saying, I don't care what I get paid, I want to work there, and I do that because I love doing that. The bonus is you get paid because you're doing meaningful work. So then what's then happening is people start applying for the role. You can filter them. No, you don't meet the criteria. Because once they meet that criteria, then all you need to do is make the decision based on culture.
Yep. Can you stand working with them?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that, like, there's also, like, that to hire someone, like that last question, that you'd want to have a beer with on a Friday. But also, like, so I've done a few things. I've tried a few different things, and I'm starting to get a little bit of I wouldn't say it's a formula, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a feel for, okay, who's the right person for me to hire. I've had a lot of, the first thing I hate now is like, if I do like a Seek or LinkedIn, I'll get like 300 applications in like 4 or 5 days. I'm like, okay, now I've got to read the applications.
How do you filter
them? How do you filter them? That was a little bit hit and miss. And where I've had actually really good experiences, like hiring through referrals, so like putting up like Instagram stories and on posts and saying, hey, if you know anyone. And then there's the trick as well, which I haven't really run into so much, but there's been moments where you're like, okay, you hire friends or family, it's great, you've got that relationship, they have your back. But then it's also like the times where you need to be the boss. It's like, is it, that can be tricky sometimes.
100%, 100%. So there's our viral post there on that bit of that printed board there against the wall. This year is hire for the will, train for the skill. So you are it's really important not to miss that step, which is the job description's got to go up. Like it's got to go. And that's where we fall down hiring friends and family. I've done that, been there, done that, fluked it with this guy, but we worked out actually, it came at a really good time where he actually fitted what the business needed. And then we worked out a really great way to work together. So, but
I'm
in terms,
right.
yeah, there you go. And all I need to do is motivate him. So then he'll always be right and motivated. But if I think the step that a lot of people miss is actually taking the time to really say, this is what the business needs. Like the process that you go through to choose your packaging, you are absolutely anal about how you want it to look, how the size it needs to be, what you're going to do to protect the product, what the product's going to look like when it gets open, all that kind of stuff around your product. You've got to be that specific before the product comes in and meets the criteria. Like the packaging comes in and meets the criteria, the product comes in and meets the criteria. Someone's got to come in and meet your criteria.
Yeah.
And when we hire friends and family, and there's nothing wrong with that, but what we don't do is we're not strict about them meeting the criteria.
Yeah.
And when you're strict about that, then the rest falls into place because you can say, actually, are you passionate about doing, like it's written and it's on a bit of paper and it's on the table in the first conversation, coffee, beer, barbecue, kebabs, whatever you're going to do to have the conversation. It's there and you say, how much, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like doing that first thing, that first bullet point? 10. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, item number 2, how excited are you to do that? Could you come and do it for me for free? And they'll be like, fuck no, right? See you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it takes a bit of discipline to do that, but then you can be assessing for culture because then you can right, okay, well, they tick all the boxes, they want to do it. How do I feel about this person? And you sort of have to appreciate that some roles have some different types of personalities, not picking on finance, but, or technical, we have a big technical team, and, they've got different personalities. The technical team here has a big personality difference to our marketing team, for example, or our sales team, you know. So you've got to sort of look at those personality traits. But the other things that we do, which, you can sort of kick into the process, the next thing we do is we say, actually, it is really hard to make this decision. How do we go non-subjective? So when we're doing interviews, more than one person.
Yeah.
You make sure you got another person, then you can have a conversation. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? We do a psychometric test. And that is that's a product we sell.
Yeah.
Why do we sell it? Because we use it and we love it. And we were like, actually, people need to see this. So we put people through a profiling system. They sit and they do an hour and a half worth of testing. And once they've done that testing, that system turns around and says they are, their sense of urgency is high or low. This position needs someone in that range and they're above or below. When you look at some of your friends, you'll go, actually, put them through the test. Because then, if you pass the test, I'll show you the report, we'll talk about it, and that'll tell you whether or not you can do that job.
Yeah.
So what you'll actually see is from a salesperson, like someone like, say, Joe sitting over there, high sense of urgency. So I'm high sense of urgency, you're high sense of urgency. Pace is really,
Kelly?
not so much.
That,
So, legitimately, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. So he's he's brought self-awareness to it. He's now got a post-it note on his desk that says pace. It's like, come on, let's go. It's this thing. Like, I've never been to sit in a meeting and do this.
Yeah.
But I'm like sitting there jiggling. Like I was in a meeting earlier today and I'm like,
Yeah.
So,
let's go.
so when you go through that psychometric testing, thinking style, decision-making framework, numerical ability, and then it says salesperson, finance person, operations person, technical person, you can run it against the job. That's our secret. Our secret is not skipping that step. Like, even if a friend comes in, we'll say, do a PXT and then we'll chat.
Yeah.
Because we can't talk further until I got that non-subjective report.
And then you have that, if it's not the answer that they want, it's like you
say,
it's
sorry,
right
mate, you
there.
don't fit the role.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. Like,
And
you can refer back to it and go, it's not me, it's the paper.
Yeah.
Like it says, this specific role that I need for my business, like I would prefer to actually put you up at my house than let you ruin my business.
Yeah.
I will still give you, like, you can come and live with me, and then, the issue is you need money. Well, let me give you the house, then you won't need the money, and then you can go and figure out what you're going to do. I'd prefer to do that because I can leave my house and go to work if I don't like you. But no, all jokes aside, you can say, well, we do this PXT report, we do the profiling, and we can sit there and can say, actually, the computer says you're a 95% fit for the role. So first is you met the criteria. Second, you actually got excited about what was on the job description. Third, you're a 95% fit for the role. Then we sit there and we say, how do we feel? We actually ask the question, what's their love language?
Yeah.